Hi everyone, welcome to Breathe and Be with Savita. Today's children's meditation in the Nature and Be series is nestled right into the lap of nature. So, kids, as we prepare ourselves for our story today, let's first ground ourselves in our breath and taking a long, slow breath in, feeling the stillness. We exhale as we dive right into our story. Lama the lion was the king of not just one but 4 jungles. He was roaming the steep slopes of the caverns near the jungle's central waterhole. He had just left from the meeting of the divisional heads of the 4 jungles, who had informed him that the business of the other jungles was in perfect order. Lama thought to himself, I'm truly the most powerful lion ever to be born here. He had a spring in his step and pride under his mane. From behind the bushes near Lama appeared a deer, sparkling like precious gems in the sun. The deer spoke clearly. You may be the most powerful lion out here, but you are definitely not the most powerful being around. At this, Lama's roar could be heard by the bushes at the very edge of the last forest. How dare you! How dare you say something so atrocious? Growled Lama. The deer stood before him, glowing, shimmering, reflecting the best of life, looking at him with his big, calm, oval eyes. Lama asked the deer, Who is this creature you talk about? How is he more powerful than I? I, the king of not one and not two, not 3 even, but 4 jungles. Can you even do the math? The deer said, I will try. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. Well then, what do you mean more powerful than I? Take me to this being you talk about, dear. Do not lure me with words seeped in your sparkly confidence. When I see, I believe. The deer asked Lama to follow him, and they set out. The deer sprinting in waves of gold and silver, as if it was made of nothing but air. The mighty lion with his ruffled mane struggling to keep up. The glistening waters of the jungle rivulet laced their path with its rapid, frothing flow. The grass waved its soft blades, beckoning them forth, adding laughter to their heels. Lama forgot as he trotted behind the deer where he was going and for what. He swayed his head to the tune of the birds' songs and to the dance of the koala. Here, let's bring our attention again into our breath. Slowly, very slowly, Let's take a long breath in all the way into our abdomen. Following the breath with our attention all the way into the stillness at the end of the breath, and then slowly, very slowly, letting go of this breath in a deep exhale. Lama stood before a langur. His eyelids were shut and he was seated on a rock. But actually, he was not seated at all. His body, although in a seated position, was raised a few inches well above the ground. The langur was levitating. Lama found ground to sit. His mane stood on end. How? What? Where? Who is all? He could stammer. The deer introduced the langur. Meet Master Shuggu. Silence. Lama finally found words. Tell me, please, how are you able to float like this? Shuggu said. Be still. Is that it? Could you please elaborate? Silence. On his return home that day, Lama sat like Shuggu. He sat quite still. Let us also be like Lama, where we bring our attention within us into the breath, and without controlling it this time, simply notice the inflow, the pauses, the outflow of the breath as it effortlessly follows its own rhythm. Rooting our attention here, we go on. Before long, however, as Lama sat under a tree, quite still like Shuggu, the tree under which he sat witnessed an outburst of bedlam by the returning birds. So the lion ordered them all to go to the other jungles. A long dispute and a lot of chirping later, Lama returned to the soft stillness of the night. As he slowly sank back into his stillness, an owl's screeches pierced the night and also Lama's silence. The next day, the owl's family too was packing to relocate to the next jungle. Over the next few days, the forest saw several of its animals bidding their farewell to it. As he sat by a stream one day, Lama thought that pack of wolves was the toughest lot. But now that it is gone finally, there is no sound and I can finally attain stillness. Lama closed his eyes, a few conscious breaths in, and suddenly a loud cricket began to chirp. From the depths of his stillness came a scream, and all of the jungle officials were ordered to look for the cricket. They looked in every crack and every corner, under every rock and leaf. The special elephant army was called to smell out the cricket, to no avail. No one could find the cricket. Every time someone thought they had almost got it, the sound would vanish into thin air. Perturbed, Lama went back to Shugu. He told Shugu about his struggle with stillness, how he did everything in his power to bring the entire world to stillness, and how one cricket can ruin everything. The langur, still afloat in the air, finally opened his eyes and looked at Lama. Shugu asked, "What is stillness?" "Stillness? Why, it is absolute silence, motionlessness, of course," said Lama. Shugu, what is silence? "When there is no noise, absolutely no noise." Shugu, and when there is noise? "Then the silence is broken, my stillness, it's gone." Shugu, broken. But is it not still there? "Well, I guess," said Lama. Shugu said, "If it were not, how could you tell noise and silence apart? If there were no silence, no stillness, could you hear noise at all? Then noise is all there ever would be." Shugu, exactly as you perceive the stars in the backdrop of the sky, so silence allows noise to be. Does the noise matter, that which is not? Simply shift your attention from the noise to the underlying silence, to the ever-present stillness inherent in everything and in also no thing at all. That night, as Lama laid on an open field of grass with night owls hooting, crickets chirping, and the birds singing their last tunes, he heard it all and sensed also the silence underneath it all, as he laid in his pool of calm and bliss, ethereal, soaking the light of the starry night, singing the tune of all-encompassing peace in his heart. And so, to have access to all the calm and wisdom that our spiritual masters and the nature around us always are in touch with, we simply take our attention every time it moves away. We take it back to our breath, whatever we are doing right now. We take it into our bodies. Be here in the moment. Breathe and be. I'll see you next time.